All right. Hello. Whoa. Hello and morning, everyone. Sorry, Zoom changed. I updated Zoom and it changed a bunch of stuff. So you're gonna see me clicking random buttons, making sure everything's working. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays. I want to first things first. I want to thank everyone that joined us for that epic having live stream. I never expected to break 10,000 viewers, live viewers on that. I thought everybody would be watching the other crypto media channels. We broke 14,000 live viewers. That was just an epic show. At one point, we had 45 people on that Zoom. You couldn't see all 45, unfortunately. The stream into YouTube only displays a maximum of 25 people, but there were 45 or 48. I don't remember seeing 50 on there from my side, but I wasn't paying attention that closely. It was just insane. Thank you for spending that time with us. I spent all day yesterday reviewing that 12-hour stream, putting together timestamps and the rest. Let me grab the live chat here. Today, sorry for starting late because I was up late doing that. I'm really hoping YouTube will have the entire 12-hour video very, very soon. But other than that, try to catch it on mobile. On mobile, the stream works a little bit better. I'm going to go to screen share in a minute, and I'll show you guys what I mean. We're kicking off with 500 live viewers already. I'm going to pour my cup here. And hey, once again, shout out to everyone that sat through that 8-hour marathon. We will do another one of those probably for Bitcoin's birthday. Maybe other events will be a little more structured, but it will be very, very similar, which turned out to be a successful plan for the show. All right, let's go to screen share. I got your live chat up. I got some friends in the Q&A group already posting some questions. All right. Let's do it. Screen share. I'm gonna go over to my YouTube channel, guys. We're at 95,000 subscribers. I've been on a mission for like 6 months now to try and break 100,000. Hopefully you guys are subscribing, liking, and supporting. So yesterday's video right here. So it's in a bunch of different groups, a bunch of different playlists. When you click on this video on YouTube, it only displays the last 4 hours, which is really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. This is a YouTube thing. This is not a tone-based thing. Everyone's complains to me, but it's not me. It's really YouTube. If you do it on your mobile, if you do it on the cell phone, in my case, I can see the entire 12 hours. Many people have said they can see the entire 12 hours. When the entire 12 hours is up, if you just go to the description and click the more button, you will see this was my day yesterday, filling out the description, and pretty much I think I got everyone. Some people are on here twice, like Mike Novogratz left and then came back. But pretty much everyone that was in the stream and when they first started speaking in that stream is listed right here. I used up every character of the description, so I can't stick any more timestamps in here. This is the maximum. The description only allows 5,000 characters, and we are like maybe 3 characters shy. So this was it. I definitely learned. I think the biggest thing I learned is, guys, Ripple is such a scam, and people that are involved in Ripple, the moment you actually mention it, like I'm mentioning Ripple right now, so they get all FOMO-y in the mouth. Oh my God, they're talking about Ripple, and they have to get other people into their scam. And it's really, really frustrating. And please quote me on this. I'm actually gonna cut the camera and I'm really gonna quote, it's very rare that I call for jail time. Very rare, because I hate that part of the government. But the sooner the creators of Ripple actually end up in jail or prison, the better off the world will be. And I will stand by that statement. I can name them: Garlinghouse, Joel Katz, Chris Larson, and Jeb McCaleb. So the sooner that happens, the sooner the better off the world will be. Because Ripple has taken scamming to another level. It's worse than BitConnect. It's worse than OneCoin. Ripple has really taken scamming to the next level because they are doing regulatory capture with their scam. BitConnect, OneCoin, Plus Token, they've never done regulatory capture, not only of the US government, but also like being in a room with Christine Lagarde. It's a scam at such proportions that it's actually dangerous for people's money and financial well-being. So it's like Ripple is here as a scam, and BitConnect is like down there somewhere. It is worse than all of those other Ponzi schemes combined, because it's just as bad, but they're doing regulatory capture. All right, now that I got that off my chest, let's go to TA. All right. Hey, Leah. There's Leah. Leah joined us late, so if you guys are only watching the last 4 hours, you can certainly catch Leah. Also, other things I learned. People really need to understand the mempool. Back when we were doing the news shows, and at the very end of the news show, Leah would always say, "Hey, Jimmy, let's take a look at the mempool," and we always took a look at the mempool. And I never thought that was important. And maybe that's because I've been in Bitcoin a little too long. And to me, the mempool stuff and the fees was like somewhat understandable at this point. But several people commented on how important that little 2 minutes of the show were with Jimmy's song talking about mempool. And we are going to bring the news shows back. We're going to probably start with 2 times a week. We're going to try and be consistent. And we do need to explain the mempool and the fees. Luke Dash Jr. coming on, telling us that we should not be using SegWit for our ordinary transactions. Save it for Lightning, which is actually deserves a much longer stream. I'll do my best. Maybe I can get Peter Todd to talk about that as well. But let's talk about the mempool. This is where the mempool starts to get a little bit clogged. Because this is where BitMax does their withdrawals, and they are going to try and start batching transactions. You can see how at 8 a.m. The mempool really starts to crank up. So, and the same thing happened the day before. So this is a 2-day look, and here we are back at 8 a.m. So you really don't want to be sending important transactions around 3-4 p.m. I think this is Eastern time. I have no idea what time zone it is. It is, yeah, I believe this is Eastern time. You can also go to 24 hours, but then you can also look at a 4-day look, and you will also see how it's always getting crowded in those afternoons. Well, this was the weekend, so that's, you can't, I think that's harder to judge. But here during the week, you can see how it's always getting crowded around like 3-4 in the afternoon. I believe New York time. What time is it now? Does it give me a timestamp? It does give me a timestamp. This is 9:20. So yes, this is New York time, US East Coast time. Okay, let's. The markets are about to open. So as the markets are about to open, I'm going to glance at it. Oh yeah, let's take a look at this. So Bitcoin hash rate. Bitcoin hash rate did drop. We did drop a few percentage points. So the Bcash hash rate is now back up to 2.5%. It was down to 0.5%. Just right before the halving. We're kind of making fun of that. They're actually beating Bitcoin SV's hash rate. This is basically a relevant hash rate. 96% is here. So this is kind of like Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin dominance over Bcash is probably greater than 96%. But Bitcoin dominance across everything will also come back. to 96%. Eventually, it'll certainly get there. Please read this about BitMEX broadcasting, their fees at 13:08 UTC time, and Jimmy Song's latest article. We didn't get a chance to talk about that. We will talk about this. We're gonna do a stream tomorrow. We're gonna try and do a Bitcoin news show tomorrow. Definitely gonna talk about Jimmy's article. I got to get Parker Lewis on the show. Great blog on Chain Capital. Absolutely awesome blog on there. And Leah Wald's article, of course, all of this we had discussed. Let me, I don't actually need to watch myself. Let's close that. Okay. That's it. Let's go. I want to wait 2 more minutes, and then we're going to start looking at the markets just as S&P opens. Hey, guys, if you like this video, please support. We had Joe on, that epic streamer with Trader. Embly, I should have gotten some of the exchange guys. That stream wasn't as well planned as it certainly could have been, and we will do a much better job next time. But please support with the affiliate page. All right, we got 1 minute to go. Let's go over to the S&P futures. I'm not sure if we're going up or down. There was a huge sell-off last night. I didn't realize it till later. I had bullish positions on. Those positions took a hit at the end of the day, but that's okay. I may have to start taking another break from trading because if we are going to bring the news shows back and the law shows back, there's just no time. I'll just have to deal with the trolls that totally teaches trading and doesn't trade because I just don't care anymore. And it's more important. Bitcoin is more important. The biggest thing that the stream proved for the halving is that people need to understand Bitcoin. And me trading is completely irrelevant to the world. It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant whether Tone Vays trades or not. And like I told people before, you should be worrying about what you're doing with your money. It shouldn't be your problem what I'm doing with my money. And what I'm doing with my money is probably going to be nothing. And I'm going to spend my valuable time continuing to educate people about Bitcoin and do my best to rid the world of scams like Ripple. And I will continue to fight for basically financial freedom because it's just more important. All right. So markets are about to open. Let's go to the 10-minute chart. I just want to see the first couple of, well, not even a couple of candles. I just want to see the first candle. I just want to see the opening candle in the stock market. We're on that candle. Stock markets are open, and just want to see where we go in the first minute, and then we're gonna go on to the other markets. Looks like we're just flat. No big deal here. So we're okay. It's starting to drop a little bit. We'll come back to the market. Let's look at a quick peek at oil, and then we're going to talk about Bitcoin for most of our time. We're almost at 1,000 viewers this morning. Oh, excellent. Thank you, guys. Please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe. Oil is consolidating, and it looks pretty bullish. It looks like oil wants to break out. This is how things break out. I guess the economy is looking to open up. We are finally on a weekly 9. Oil finally made it to a weekly 9. I've been waiting for that. Oh, by the way, I will release the multi-time frame in the indicator probably this week or this weekend. I think it's ready to be released. I just have to, do release notes and get it out. We hit the weekly 9. Wow, we hit the weekly 9 last week. I should have been paying more attention. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I wasn't. So last week, clearly a buying opportunity for oil at around 19. We are currently sitting at 26. The sequential, it was a double 9 that turned into a price flip. Still a very useful tool. Now I'm going to leave it this way. I'm going to go back to daily. Silver, the shitcoin to gold's gold. And we are consolidating here as well. It looks bullish. Silver does look on the bullish side of the market. Gold. Not ready to call gold a shitcoin to Bitcoin's Bitcoin or a shitcoin to Bitcoin's gold. But gold's still pretty good. It's still consolidating. I'm not in the gold trade yet. I may or may not go in the gold trade yet. I may just sell my physical gold if it goes to 4,000 to 5,000. But it's consolidating. No comment on gold. We're going to go backwards through these charts today, guys. So Bitcoin dominance, we're at 68%. Well, let's see what happens over the next 6 months going past the halving. I fully expect this to rise. I don't know if it will rise in a rising Bitcoin price or a dropping Bitcoin price, but I am still a believer that Bitcoin dominance will make a new all-time high, not all-time high, sorry, will make a new swing high. And when it does, we will make a new 3-year high in Bitcoin's dominance as it continues to move to the upside. This is what I was waiting for. This is miner profitability. And you see the big crash right here. Now, remember, we did fall over 50% here. Then we rose big, and now we just fallen 50% because of the halving. So I still think we are going to hit this orange line. I still believe we're going to hit this orange line. In order to hit this orange line, Bitcoin would need to fall to approximately $6,000. That would be the equivalent of falling to approximately $3,000 back in December 2018. Willy Woo said something very, very interesting on the stream. Oh, I should have got that stream back. Hold on. Can I do Control-Shift-T and get my stream back? Oh, but it's not the full stream, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I only get 4 hours on the laptop, but I do get the entire 12 hours on my cell phone. So if you are on your cell phone and you have access to the entire 12-hour stream, what you want to do is you just want to hit this more button when it all loads. And you want to find Willy Woo's comments about miners. I tried to timestamp as best I can. Oh, by the way, this was awesome. This was the comment by F2 Pool in the block prior to the halving block, and it quoted New York Times headline with 2.3 trillion injection. Fed's plan far exceeds its 2008 rescue. And as you know, the very first block of Bitcoin contained a similar message from that 2008 financial crash. So around 6 hours and 48 minutes into the stream, during a little economic debate, and Willie said it earlier as well, but I have it quoted here. Big miners might dump to take small miners out. This is a really interesting game theory plan that the bigger miners would want to eliminate their competition. Hopefully, they don't eliminate too much competition, but they do want to eliminate some of their competition. And I can't click on it because if I click on it, it just ends the stream, mostly because this video has not fully right. It doesn't go there. But there's Willy Woo right there. Hey guys, I did the best I could moderating it with so many people, and I probably didn't do a very good job vetting some of the people that joined the stream. If you think I really had the ability to look into everyone's past and everyone's history, it's impossible. So I don't have a producer. I just send out this link to many people, and some of those people send it to some of their friends. And we did have a lot of people on there. And I basically did the best I could moderating this epic stream. So that is a potential plan for some of the miners. And miners might do it strategically. So if miners try to dump coins on the markets, we can certainly see a lower price of Bitcoin temporarily. And I'm going to continue just going through these charts in backwards order. So I still think we're going to hit this line. That means Bitcoin is going to come down to about 6,000. I don't know when that's going to happen. Now, remember, the later on in the year this happens, the more likely it will take out the miners. So if this is the plan by some of the miners, they may not do it right away. The miners might wait. They might wait even a few months before they execute, their equivalent of Order 66 in order to dump Bitcoins on the market and force some of their competition to just go out of business. But don't fear, Bitcoin will make a comeback. I'm not too concerned. Mining hash rate. Yeah, this is where we were at one point. I keep adjusting this. So here's the mining hash rate. Mining hash rate is still holding up. This chart is a little bit delayed. Let's see how it goes. but I don't want to see too much hashing power come off the network. How big can the pullback be? I can certainly see a pullback down to this area. Not exactly, you know what, let me do it the other way. I can certainly see a pullback down to the prior swing high in the hash rate. That would be a decrease in the hash rate. Oh, wow, 50%. Oh my God, that's actually quite significant. So a 50% decrease in the hash rate may sound crazy, but it would only take us to the October 2018 levels, which is not that long ago. And October 2018 saw, a monster crash as well. That was the crash down to 3,000. So a crash down to 6,000 should not be that different than Bitcoin at 3,000. But now mining is more efficient, and I think they will find a way to make it work. Also, in the world of infinite money printing, some of these miners will probably be able to borrow a bunch of money from the government in order to keep their businesses and jobs afloat. So I am not expecting a hash rate drop more than 50%, and I do expect a higher new all-time hash rate by the time the next halving comes, and probably way sooner than that. Though we will see a pullback. We have to. Okay, GBTC. Sorry. Since Bitcoin price is rising, and we'll get to it in a minute. Oh wait, GBTC is delayed. I don't have this quote yet. It's a delayed quote, so we have to wait. We're gonna come back to GBTC. This is my shortest term chart. This is the 10-minute chart. The 10-minute chart is not that interesting from a oscillator perspective. The 10-minute chart was interesting during the halving. We were just watching what's going on. We're going to go back to using it as a 4-hour chart, which is way better. Now, the 4-hour chart, it is approaching its swing highs that it did during the halving, and we are approaching a moving average. This is an ascend. I'm going to delete this stuff. This is an ascending triangle looking pattern, which is pretty bullish. I could certainly draw an ascending triangle here that has actually broken out. This is a very nice ascending triangle right here. To me, everyone draws them differently. To me, this is a gorgeous ascending triangle on a 4-hour chart. It has already broken out. I'm curious where. I have to make it green. And how do I make the background? Oh, here it is. I'm really curious where sequential is. My sequential didn't update. Let's try that again. I'm really curious where sequential is. I would love for this to be a green 2 above a green 1 or one of them. This is a nice breakout. I did not know that. I haven't looked at the price of Bitcoin in a day or so. I was doing those timestamps. So I drew this backwards. Oh, wow. Look at that. A green 2 above a green 1. That is absolutely perfect. I am liking this breakout of this triangle. That looks like an $800 pop to the upside for 9%. We can flip this candle over to this way. We can go to 9% for about $800. There it is. And we can put that over here. That is a very nice looking breakout that is very clean. Can Bitcoin make it? Can Bitcoin make another run? Can it make a FOMO-ish run to 9,500 again? And the answer is, of course it can. I am still on the record that Bitcoin will pull back to that $7,200 area. And when would I walk away from that statement? We're going to get to that with higher level time frames. This is a daily chart, and let's look at the BitMEX funding rate. The BitMEX funding rate is kind of still favoring the bulls a little bit. This part is favoring the bears, but that's a very low, what do you call that? Oh man, funding rate. Thank you. Funding rate. It's a very low funding rate that favors the bears a little bit, but not much. And this is Contango, I think. And I gotta double check on the formula for the yellow, and that slightly favors the bulls. So Bitcoin can certainly go up in price a little bit more. The RSI is neutral. The MACD is a little bit bearish. We are trying to get back to this high. We are way below the lucid SAR, but we are above the moving averages. To me, this is normally a no trade zone. I would need a break of the prior swing high. I will continue. Again, this is where we go to the higher level time frame. I will continue to assume that we are pulling back from this rejection. Look, you don't pull back right away. Here we are up here, and here we are again, and here we are for 4 weeks straight, hovering around the resistance area. And we can do the same thing. Look at this candle right here. This green candle back on February, the week of February 17th. This candle dropped pretty big, and then it pulled back up and it hit the line one more time. Can we hit this line one more time? Of course we can. In fact, that would probably be very, very tricky for traders, and might be what's going to happen. If we go back to that $9,400, $9,500 area, a lot of people will think that the halving hype and the halving FOMO is going on past the halving, and that would be the third hit of that trend line. You can see this candle, the bullish candle just missed it, just like this bullish candle just missed it. The bearish candle, the week of February 10th, broke the line and then pulled back and closed as a red candle. And then the week after, the week of February 17th, was a bullish week that showed you a strong bounce with a big shadow at the bottom end of the candle, making it a pretty bullish candle. And this is exactly what's happening this week right now. They are both approximately in the same area of the weekly sequential. Last time it was on a 7, this time it was on a 6, so it's only 1 week different. So don't be surprised if we do hit this red rejection line once or twice. In fact, I wouldn't mind hitting it 3 more times and getting us a weekly 9. Weekly 9 right at this trend line. So if Bitcoin hangs around between 9,000 and 9,400 for the next 3 weeks, this week plus 3 more weeks or 2 more weeks, that would be a very interesting 9, that we're finally going to have a 9 on a weekly chart. The last time we had a 9 on a weekly chart was this double 9 that crashed the market, but only for 1 week. I was certainly expecting a much bigger pullback. I think this is where my bet with Crypto Man Rand was made, because of this 9. Didn't end up winning that bet till right here. Rand joined the stream for a second. Maybe I'll be back to a show one day. I'll be invited back. And anyway, I am still looking for a top. This top could take weeks. This top could take minutes. We don't know. So I am watching it. Technically, we are in a no trade zone. I am biting my lip, trying not to rush into GBTC. I'm still waiting for that pullback. I don't want to miss the Bitcoin trade to the moon. I really don't. And here is the big one. I will. This is the chart. This is the big chart. Okay. I am sticking to this narrative. I am sticking to this narrative. I am sticking to the phase 7 of hyperwave for now, even though I don't believe we're going to go past the $6,000 area. I need a clean break of this trend line. I need a sustained close above 10,000. We need to stay above 10,000 for at least a few weeks. Hopefully, we're not like up here the moment we break that 10,000. I like my orderly markets. I will continue to follow this arrow back to that $7,200 area. This could take all the way into mid-June. This could take all the way into July. Bitcoin needs to prove to me that it's bullish. Short term, I am. This may look like intermediate term bearish, but it's more short term bearish. But I am a bullish overall. I am now. If we break it up into 4 time spans, if we do short term, intermediate term, long term, and super long term. Super long term, I'm always bullish. Long term, I am now bullish. I will not be bearish long term, probably for years to come. We need an all-time high for that. Short term, I am actually neutral, but intermediate term, Bitcoin needs to prove it to me. prove it to me. Prove to me that you're ready to go to new all-time highs. And there's two ways you can prove it to me: above 10,000 or above this trend line. Now, right now, you need to be above 10,000 to prove it to me. In August, you only need to be above 8,000 to prove it to me. And in December, you only need to be above 7,500 to prove it to me that you're ready for this arrow. In order to be ready for this arrow, I need a sustained multi-week close above this trend line, and I can still adjust the trend line. Oh, not that one. I still have the right to adjust the trend line. If I have to make this trend line further up, I will, but I will stick to my rules of trend lines. You touch the most number of candles without breaking any of their bodies. I know I start this candle from this high, not that high, but I don't like using that high. It's just a little bit too irrational. This one seems a little bit better for my best fit. My trend lines are best fit lines, and I always reserve the right to adjust them. So there you go. I might have drawn this a little bit lower than it was before. Maybe not. I might have drawn that one a little bit longer. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Okay. I got a bunch of questions. I want to look at, we see what a stock market is. We dropped at the open right into a 9, and we recovered. This looks like the 10 a.m. reversal. We got to look at the daily view and the weekly view of the markets. I am currently leaning long. I am currently leaning long in my portfolio, but I need to just exit everything in my portfolio. I may have to start. I really thought I could like start trading, but I can't. I can't do Bitcoin evangelism and trading. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Life is just miserable that way. You got to pick one or the other. And yeah, we're pulling back again. I'm really curious where this day ends. This is the daily chart. If we break this low, Bitcoin is in serious trouble. Sorry, Bitcoin. S&P is in serious trouble. We still have a moving average to support on, but this is the Lucid SARs right here, the Fibonacci lines right there, even though that may need to be adjusted. Either way, we are now bullish based on SARs, Lucid SARs. We're holding the moving average. The S&P is still in a bullish posture, even with the ridiculous end of market day yesterday. But just like Bitcoin needs to prove to us that it's bullish, the S&P needs to prove to us that it's bearish. And the best way it can do it is to fall below 2,800. Until it does, I'm going to assume that the plunge protection team is doing its job. All right. Just a quick peek at the weekly scale, and then we'll get to some of your Q&A. Yeah, weekly scale is just consolidating, and we'll see where it goes. We're currently on a weekly price flip. I really want this weekly to get to a 9. I would like to see the S&P get to that $3,000 area, 30, a little over that, before it rejects and goes back to the downside. All right. Once again, I can't believe I'm playing this. Once again, guys, I do want to point out that this epic live stream, YouTube was only displaying the last 4 hours. It's the last 4 hours. I must have had dozens of people hit me up asking me about this. Please be aware that it takes time. I don't know how much time. This can take a week. This can take a month. I have no idea when YouTube decides to put the entire 12 hours on online. You can, on your mobile, it's probably more likely you already have access to the entire 12 hours. My day yesterday was spent putting in this timeline of everyone that joined the stream, when they joined, and a few interesting topics. But you can't use it unless you have the entire 12-hour stream, okay? So please keep in mind, hopefully they will put the entire thing up. Please like. By the way, this was the 10th most popular live stream in all of YouTube. All of YouTube. This was a 10th most popular live stream on Monday across the entire YouTube platform, which is great, and why we had 14,000 live viewers and 45 people on at the same time. Also, why you need to watch these things live. Anytime I stream for more than 8 hours, you may only be able to watch the last few of those hours for the next week or so, because YouTube, I mean, this is actually a really good point. And this goes to Luke Jur's point. Everyone says, oh, it's just data. We have infinite amount of data. It's just data. If YouTube is not able to render and process a 12-hour, not even 4K video, and it takes them up to a week to do it, imagine your ridiculous blockchain with gigabyte blocks. It will not function. It won't work. Data storage is not cheap. Data storage is not fast. Luke's point is people should not be using SegWit. They should be using the old addresses, and the bigger the block, the more congested the Bitcoin network is, the more expensive the fees are, the slower the transactions are, the better it is for the Bitcoin network, because that forces people into second layer scaling solutions that would allow Bitcoin to actually scale. I'm not sure he's mentioning that part. To him, it creates SegWit on chain, creates more weight, and it makes the cumulative size of the Bitcoin blockchain bigger, and that endangers the decentralization of the Bitcoin blockchain. Okay. Please support, please like, please subscribe. We are almost at 100,000 subscribers. I'm on a mission this year. 100,000 subscribers by end of year. That's the Vays mission. May have to do 3 videos a day. I don't, but we'll get there. We will get to 3,000 to 100,000 subs. All right, we have 1,000 live viewers. I'm gonna pull up the price of Bitcoin here on the short-term 4-hour chart. We are breaking out of this triangle. I am leaning bullish here short-term right now. The FOMO was strong with post-halving. However, I am skeptical that we will break this trend line. I will always be skeptical that we will break this trend line until we do. All right, lots of questions. Let's start with, do you take stock in the gap fill theory? Do they always fill? Considering Bitcoin is a 24-hour market, there are no gaps, but can you glance at CME future gaps? That's a very good question. So I absolutely believe in gap fills, but not necessarily long-term gaps. I believe in short-term gap fills. If we just slide over to any stock, whatever stock this is, I don't know why that keeps coming up. Whatever stock this is, I was thinking of entering. I mean, I do trade, which I'm probably gonna stop. One of the stocks I was looking at. This doesn't mean that it's a buying opportunity, by the way. Just because I'm looking at it doesn't mean that I'm gonna trade it. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla likes to gap. I do believe in gap fills, but I believe in gap fills early on, not late. You see these gaps here, like this gap was almost closed, almost. This gap never closed. None of these gaps closed. They don't have to close. A gap to the upside doesn't have to close. A gap to the downside tends to close, but not always. Gaps don't have to close. Do I believe they close more often than they don't? Yes. I believe that gaps close more often than they do. But having said that, just because they close more often, just because there is a 55% chance that this gap will close versus this gap not closing, shorting Tesla to profit from this gap close could lead to the destruction of your entire trading account. You cannot depend on the gap close. Now, gap is more likely to close in the first 30 minutes of market open than it is at any further time in down the line. So when this gap occurs right here, the highest probability of closing this gap is in the first hour or so of trading. After that, the probability is lower than this gap will close. Of course, markets do pull back, and the coronavirus situation, dumped the entire market. Some of the most profitable traders I've ever met in my life were gap traders. They would trade the first 30 minutes of market open. They would scour the internet. They would drink an entire mug of coffee at around 8:30 in the morning, so that by 9:30 in the morning, they have their best 5 or 6 gap opportunities to close the gap. And a lot of times they close the gap and they go to the upside. Those that have attended my workshops on trading heard me talk about why that is. I'm not going to get into it here. Now, the CME gap on Bitcoin to me is actually irrelevant. It's irrelevant because Bitcoin is a 24-hour market. And eventually the CME futures on Bitcoin will be 24 hours. I don't know if that'll take a decade or 2 decades or 50 years, but it will happen. I don't care about the CME gap. If you trade the CME gap and you are profitable, great. You found a niche. You found your niche in trading. I encourage that. I think following other traders is the worst form of trading. The worst. The worst form of trading is listening to other traders and taking on their positions. It's the worst form of trading. I give you my view on the market. I don't want you following my trades. I will never show you my trades. I don't want you following them, because I can take on a dumb trade and then I say the next day, well, that was stupid. And then someone else says, I followed your trade and now I'm broke. Well, you're stupid. I'm sorry. Like, what do you want me to say? I've done so many dumb things in my trades, including recently. I thought I set a good to cancel order, ended up being a day order. I ended up not getting out of a trade. Thank God that trade worked out for me later on in the week, but it was basically luck. So the worst form of trading is to follow other people's trading. The best form of trading is to find something that only works for you, keeping your mouth shut and don't tell anyone. Now, Joe Saz, for example, found a niche with Order Book, got together as a consultant with a company trader that wanted to help him visualizing the order book, and that's what they did. And now he uses this charting system exclusively. Okay, so the best thing you can do is find your niche. If you trade everything across all time frames and all styles, you're not going to succeed very well. The best thing you can do is to find one thing that works for you. All right, I'm getting off on a tangent here. Let's get back to your other questions. Speaking of the affiliate page, please support. Embly should have a brand new website this week. Finally, it's supposed to be like 3 weeks ago, but finally they will. Love my Embly card. I don't have it on my desk at the moment, but definitely a conversation starter in brick and mortar stores. Okay, next. Will you reach out to Luke to get him on a stream? Yes, 100%. Would love to hear more from his brain. Great information there. Specifically interested in the finite versus infinite supply conversation. Yes, we will try to do a stream. We will get Luke. We will get Jimmy. I will do my best to get Adam back. I was hoping Adam back would join Monday's stream. I'm sure he was very busy. We'll try to get Adam back. We'll try to get another. We get Jack too. I feel so bad. Jack. Jack Maulers. I apologize. Someone referred to him as the Crown Prince of Lightning. I apologize. You literally got to speak for 15 seconds. And I want to get you on the stream. I want to talk in detail about all this stuff. Love your work. You've done so much for the space. We'll get Jack. We'll get Luke. We're going to do a tech stream. I need to start using Lightning because fees are getting expensive. All right. Good question. Next, Bitcoin motorist. What happened to Bitfinex? What happened to Bitfinex? I don't know what happened to Bitfinex. Hopefully, he promised me to come on the stream once Bitfinex is destroyed. So once that happens, we'll get Bitfinex on. I haven't paid attention to his work lately. What are your thoughts on the new Satoshi video? I have not seen it, guys. Oh, maybe that's why I'm back to income. I have not seen it. I don't want to promote it. Those of you that know what I'm talking, I don't want to promote it. I need to watch it. I have not yet watched it. But yes. What do you think about Da Vinci selling his house to buy Bitcoin now? Da Vinci, I apologize. I'm sorry. I should have invited you to the Monday stream. I was this was a last minute thing. I was inviting everyone like within the prior 24 hours. I meant to send you the link and invite you. I completely apologize. I didn't even realize it that I didn't. Would have been great to have you on the stream. I want to have Da Vinci on. I actually want to talk about that. It's hard for me to say that this is a good idea. I'm not going to say this is a bad idea. I would, if I had a second house, I would sell it and buy Bitcoin. That's the best way I can phrase it. I wouldn't sell my primary residence, but if I had 2 apartments, I would consider selling the second one and buying Bitcoin. Now, having said that, I'm actually hoping that Bitcoin goes to 100 or 200K so I can buy the apartment next door, so I can buy out the apartment next door to me and expand my apartment. So I'm looking through the complete opposite of that once a Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. But at the moment, would have been better to do it when Bitcoin was closer to 6,000 than 9. But yeah, if I had a second house, I'm not going to say this is a bad idea. I'd like to hear what Ton thinks is the best way to accept Bitcoin as a payment with an online store. I know Coinbase has a merchant service, but I don't know if they're trustworthy. BTC Pay Server. We have fully integrated BTC Pay Server. If you go to products and services and you go to, say, on-demand videos, a little plug for the on-demand videos, and Tyler Jenks's videos are here as well. And yes, I have full permission to sell these videos through my website. But if you're interested, please check these out. We have integrated BTC Pay Server. It is you may need to hire a developer to do this. But BTC Pay Server is the best way to accept it. If you're curious, I don't really have anything too cheap for you to test on. But if you're interested in one of these videos or indicator access, and pretty soon I will have a subscription for these Q&As. That subscription will not be that expensive. You can test out the smoothness of the BTC Pay Server and how it works when you use it. Also, BTC Pay Server has the latest features in privacy. I'm not sure if we've integrated those yet, but soon we will. All right, next question. Great call on RIG. I own RIG. It was one of the stocks I bought. How is it doing? Let's find. Look, this is how busy I am. I can't even keep an eye on my own freaking positions. This is why I have to, like, if RIG would have crashed to 0, I would have no idea. I would have been like, wow, I should have gotten out of that. Though I actually don't have, I don't even have stop losses in place. I can't even find it. RIG. I have a very ballsy trade on RIG. Oh yeah, there it is. It's down today a little bit, but that's a good move. Getting in right after earnings, right off this 9. RIG is up 50%. Nice cheap stock. The reason I don't have stop losses is because there's only so much I can lose, right? I don't exactly trade penny stocks. But I trade companies that are cheap that I know are not going to, well, I don't know they're not going to collapse, but probability of a collapse is not very high with big companies. Next, we got a few more. Which debt is more bad for a nation? National debt or where a country owes to others? Let me know. I remember you keep saying unfunded pension liability is a bigger problem. So in the United States, in probably Canada, in China, in Australia, the unfunded liabilities is worse. Where's that halving clock? Yep. Where's that halving clock? Come on, Ripple, come at me. Your leaders belong in prison, maybe even for life. They are doing regulatory capture of a scam. You are worse than BitConnect. You always were worse than BitConnect. What am I Googling? Death clock. There was, yeah, here we go. US national debt, 25 trillion. Who cares? This is the, let's look at the real problem. Unfunded liabilities, where are they? US total debt, boom, boom, right there, 77. The difference between 77 and 25 is the real problem. That is $52 trillion. That is the problem. That's the problem. Unfunded debt right there. Unfunded liabilities. I don't know if this includes that or whatever. This is the problem. This, nobody cares. Nobody. The government sure as hell doesn't care about this. They don't. They don't give a shit. Not a single president has ever cared about this. Maybe a few 40, 50 years ago. Nobody cares. Unless there is a country out there that's gonna, and I'm not speaking as a, US centric here. Unless there is a country out there that's gonna come to America with bigger guns and collect on this debt, no one cares. This is the problem. This is the problem because you know why? Because this is those with the guns. This is the debt owed to American citizens or debt owed by American citizens. And American citizens have guns. They're already here. They're already in this country. So the biggest fear is the government check defaults to its citizens. No one cares if the government check defaults to China. No one cares if the government check defaults to any other country. It's their fault for lending US money. Then don't do it. Everyone knows that you lend national debt, you ain't getting it back. Here's the difference. See, when you have national debt in a foreign country, when a foreign country owes money to the United States government, the US government will show up with their guns, not literally, but metaphorically, where the US government shows up and says, you better let our companies ruin your little local economy by bringing in McDonald's and a lot of other stuff. So if you are a non-US nation that is that has something that nations like the US wants, this is your national debt's terrible. You better keep an orderly book. Don't get into a debt situation with the US government or IMF. Get your shit together and don't do it, because as a foreign nation, this is the bigger problem. For the US, this is the bigger problem. Okay, it's the unfunded liabilities. I don't know where on the screen the unfunded liabilities are. This is all the promises, all the healthcare, Or like, for example, we're here in a shutdown. So many small businesses are going to fail. So many people are going to lose their job. Not a single government employee is going to lose their job. Every single government employee is going to continue getting paid. Teachers are still getting paid. They're not doing anything right now, right? I have a friend who watches this channel sometimes. I hate to put you on the spot. You're not watching right now because you may or may not be working. Works for the court system. Hasn't gone to work in a month and a half. I don't know how much work he does from home because he works for the courts. And he's getting paid. His, his salary will still increase. He's going to get paid. When the government had their 2-week shutdown, all those people got a free 2-week vacation. They all get paid. Politicians get elected by promising, money in the future, bigger pensions, bigger healthcare. And when that check bounces, you better watch out. Like if the military doesn't get paid, the U.S. has a problem. If the cops, firemen, teachers, like if all these people don't get paid, well, you got a problem. You as the U.S. government, you have a problem. So yes, it's the unfunded. It's the Social Security. It's the Medicare. There it is. Holy shit! It's 147. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong number. This is the number I was looking for. $147 trillion. U.S. unfunded liabilities. This liability per citizen, 450,000. That is how much money you owe to the other citizens of your country. Who cares how much you owe to China? Who cares? This is what you owe to your next door neighbor. And he's not going to be happy when you don't pay him. Okay? You don't have to worry about someone in China not getting paid from you. But this is a problem. This is the guy next door that's going to be knocking on your door one day to collect. Okay? This is the problem. That's the problem. National debt, who cares? But if you're a foreign country, it's different. If you're not US, Canada is probably in the same boat. US is not gonna, take down Canada, maybe. Mexico, maybe. Like if you're a really big country, this doesn't matter. If you're a small country, this matters more. But if you're a small country, you don't have this. If you're a small country, you have no unfunded liabilities. You don't owe your citizens a ridiculous amount of promises. That's not how you operate. So hope that explains it all. This website's been around forever. Great website. All right. Can't wait till this is like 1 million. It's going to be hilarious. Can't wait. This is bigger than the potential of the average employee's lifetime income. Remember, for an average employee, if the average employee in the US, I'm probably going to round up here. If the average employee in the US makes, say, $50,000 a year, how many working years will they have? Well, let's say you work for, 40 years. 40 years of work is reasonable. So 40 years at an average of 50,000. So what is that? That's 2 million a year. 50,000, not a year, sorry, lifetime. 50,000 times 10 years is 500. That's not including taxes, by the way. So taxes will take almost half of that off of you. So yeah, if an average lifetime productive person makes $1 million a year, when this crosses their lifetime income, that's going to be hilarious. Okay, tangent over. Next, good question. Tone, you rock. Well, it was an epic having. Thank you. That was a great show. Thank you all for watching. If a person really wants to understand economics in reality, will SAFE's Austrian economics course help? View on Austrian economics in general. Yes, I am very confident it will help. I feel bad I haven't taken SAFE's economic course. I really should. But again, I could stop videos and I can stop providing my information and learn, which I probably should do. But Safe, I apologize to you as well. You didn't get that much speaking time on the Epic stream. Would love to have you back on the show. What will happen to the price of Bitcoin if inefficient miners switch off? Well, at first, Bitcoin price will probably dip, but in the long run, efficiency prevails and Bitcoin will be just fine. Tone, can you check ticker WFC? Is that Wells Fargo? Yeah, this is why we're going to have a private Zoom for this kind of stuff. Oh, wow. Oh, give me a 9. Oh, this is interesting. It's a little too pricey. Wells Fargo didn't fall that much. And I don't like the structure. I like the 9, but I'm not ready to go in. I like the 9, but I'm just not ready. I don't like the candle. Love the 9, don't like the chart pattern, and don't like the candle. Remember, candles are more important. Chart patterns are next, then sequential. I'm not going to blindly go into sequential because of a 9. I want to, but I can't on this one. All right. When will you do another 12-hour stream? I don't know. I need some kind of an event. Probably Bitcoin's birthday. I know it's like 8 months away. Maybe something else interesting will happen between now and then. But no plans at the moment. Assets per citizens versus liability per citizen at the bottom. Yep, I found it. All right, next, last question. Maybe, I don't know. Last question that I have. Maybe there's more. And then we'll take a look at the price of Bitcoin to close us out. Which is better, entering a trade with your full balance and setting a stop loss at 5%, or entering a trade with just 5% of your balance and riding the market without a stop? I prefer entering with 5% of my balance and riding it without a stop, or put in a stop, put in an alert. When I say you don't put in a stop, you put in an alert. You put in an alert, and then you get an alert, and then you go and you reevaluate. I don't like going all in on a single trade because anything can happen, and one thing outside of your control can wipe you out. You go into a trade as an all-in, and then it gaps, or that asset never trades again. Anything can happen. I would rather go in 5% of my balance because I know what I can lose with a 5% of my balance. Very, very, very good question. All right, one last peek at the stock market. The stock market is just holding up there, which is not too bad. I gotta go and babysit my positions again. I'll probably won't enter anything next week. If I see market turning, I will just enter a non-leveraged short trade and ride that to maybe even new lows. We will see. I'll put a stop loss up here. If I go short, my stop loss will be at new swing highs. I gotta try to time the top as best I can. Gold, how's gold doing this morning? Gold's rising a little bit. I would be bullish gold above the prior swing high. If gold goes beyond this line, I become bullish on gold. In a perfect world, that green line is being crossed on a green 2 above a green 1. So tomorrow we get a green 1. Oh, tomorrow we get a green 1, and the day after we get a green 2. So on Friday, if we are crossing that line, would be perfect. All right, final look at Bitcoin before we head out. All right, beautiful. The green 2 above a green 1 got us out of this triangle. I didn't even know the triangle was here until an hour ago. But those that recognized it and took the trade have done well. I am bullish in the short term right now. I still expect us to get rejected by this trend line until we don't. Until Bitcoin proves to me that it's ready for prime time by being above this trend line for several weeks, I will continue to assume we will consolidate for the rest of the year. I will change my mind very quickly once we're able to sustain new highs. Hey guys, please support. Here are my on-demand videos. Here's the affiliate page. Please subscribe as well. And hopefully YouTube will give us the full 12 hours. Right now, it works much better on your mobile device than on your laptop or PC. Here are all the timestamps. This was my day yesterday, all day rewatching everything and putting in these timestamps. Please leave comments and subscribe. Almost at 100,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Back in the bunker. I don't even know what day I'm in the bunker. I'll try to add it up. I flew back to the US on the 19th of March. So we're almost at 19th of May, and that would make it 60 days. All right, guys. I got all the memorabilia behind me right there from all the prior thumbnails. It's like a Find Waldo situation. We got some little treasure gems hidden all over the bunker. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And news show tomorrow. I don't know what time. We're going to try and bring Leah. We're going to try and bring Jimmy and maybe Giacomo. And we'll do it. All right. Thank you, guys. See you all on the next one.